say you'll catch me.
Hey Cancer, what's shaking? Happy May to you. Hope you're doing great. Sorry I'm getting to these a little bit late. Been really busy and kind of just dealing with some personal things with my own business and just some healing situations. So I'm actually doing 12 of these now, doing them a little different. This was just more workable with my time schedule right now, and I wanted to thank everybody that's been with me. I've just come up on my 1-year anniversary of this YouTube channel, and so it's meant a lot to have your support. Really appreciate those of you that have been tuning in and checking out your messages from me. Please check your sun, your moon, and your ascendant signs, because you might find other messages there using the same 5 decks. And I have already shuffled. I've already actually got the cards dealt. Their backs up. I haven't flipped them yet. But I did actually channel some messages here for you. So I'll go over those first, and then I will reorient here like I just did and show you your cards. So there were some pop-out messages that came up, and I will just say that for anybody that has lost a loved one or that might feel like a loved one is accessing them right now, it seems like it might be a really strong energy for that. They kept, like, one of the cards that flew out was the Emperor, and it actually flew out with another card. It was the 8 of Cups, and so they were showing me just some things that people were doing. In some cases, I'm hearing about deceased loved ones. They did show me some females too, though, so it doesn't have to be a male archetype, but a lot of times the Emperor will be like a paternal figure. But I was hearing in some cases it could have to do with someone's mom too, or a maternal style figure that may have crossed over. And I was hearing that in some cases somebody might feel like that person reaches out to them, and the Angel card actually did show up. One of the archetype cards that I use. And in other cases, they were just saying this is some assistance that's coming at a really good time for the Cancer. They're saying a lot about new beginnings and just needing to depart from things that weren't working, and how the new beginnings might be coming, and that for some people it's absolutely going to have a romantic connotation. They were showing me just people that were like just kind of freaking out about like what to say and how to say it, and like whether or not they could express it, because they were showing me just some really powerful, some spiritual relationships, and in other cases situations that had developed with people that were very different, like ideologically, like with very different backgrounds or age differences, and I need to communicate with these people, but it almost kind of being like one of those situations where they felt like they were going to have to really kind of put something on the line. And so I was hearing in some cases it's really just about the things that the Cancer might be facing, that they leave behind as they're ascending to from maybe girlhood to womanhood, or boyhood to manhood, or however you might gender express. But in other cases, we were hearing about literally almost like a mental conflict that some people were having about their life purpose. And I was hearing about life purpose and about just like leaning on angels for support. And it was cool because this angel card did show up, and it actually says, helping those in need with no expectation of return on the light attributes, and on the shadow attributes it says, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. And so in some cases they were saying maybe that's part of what the situation is. It's people being faced with like, this rift in their mind about, am I hearing from the divine, or is this, is this ludicrous, or is this like some kind of shadow character BS or something? But in some cases they were just really saying to pray if that's something that resonates with you, or talk to your spiritual partner, because in some cases they were showing me a lot about a spiritual partner that you can have even almost like a telepathic connection with, whether or not that person is here. Because in some places they're showing me somebody that might be like technically disembodied because they've actually made the onward journey, and that some of you need to just believe and trust that you are being supported, and that is an angel for you. And so I think that's what I got there. I'm going to go ahead and flip your cards, and we'll see what other messages showed up and spread your Cancer. So here's a little zoom on the spirit board. Excuse me. All right, we're going to start with the archetype card using Kara Mace's archetypes. Well, there's the Queen card, and I'm hearing for somebody, I just heard the word mother. They were saying something about the mother. Light attributes state radiates the regal feminine, uses for benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow attributes state becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. And they're saying for some people it's like mother issues that are coming up and a need to leave that behind. And that maybe that's what some of those movement cards were. I literally had the 8 of Cups pop out while I was shuffling. And also with that Emperor card, so there, maybe there's some sort of parental figure is what I'm being told that might be domineering that is in the forefront here. And that could very well be the case. I think it's Mother's Day this weekend too. So for some of y'all, this could have an implication on that. Whether or not there are problems with the mother, it could very well be, just spending some time with her and there being a focus on it. But there was a lot of moving away from energy that was showing up. They're saying somebody might have got a new job too, so congrats for anybody, but I was definitely hearing about new beginnings, and then boom, right here, physical material realm, we've got the Ace of Pentacles showing up right here next to the Queen. I'm hearing for somebody, it might have been a job promotion or a new job. So these archetypes can play out in different ways. Just so you know, these are oftentimes situational awareness clues, and the fact that they highlight the light and the shadow attributes, just to give us a better idea of why we might be feeling a certain way, why others might be coming at us a certain way, or how the situations might be unfolding. But it's looking pretty good here. It's looking very grounded. They're also saying it might have an implication on dealings with people that are strong in the earth element in their natal constitution, whether it's sun, moon, or rising in one of the earth tribes, such as Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, if that's not yourself. Mental sector card, wow. Third eye chakra. So some of you are really seriously having upper chakra awakening right now. I was hearing about that. They were talking to me about, possibly deceased loved ones. Our condolences if you've lost someone lovely in your life that may or may not have been a maternal or a paternal figure in some way. But they're saying it's almost like the heavens are delivering something to you, and that your third eye chakra might be on the mind right now. And so if you're not aware of exactly where that is, your pineal gland is like in this general area here. They're saying this might be something to work on decalcifying at this time too. I'm hearing some things about strengthening the diet and just doing things. They're actually talking to me about supplementation with this, somebody being willing to receive like herbal supplementation to help them with what they're calling in on the third eye chakra, which is actually your sixth chakra. So this is a very good color to even focus on for meditation. And they're saying something about, oh, I just heard sapphire engagement ring for somebody. Yeah, they're talking to me. Well, congratulations if you're getting engaged, but I did hear something about an engagement ring, and somebody is sending to the role of queen, and they were showing me this beautiful sapphire color here. So we're hearing that might be on the mind for somebody, and well, that could very well be the case because in your personal / romance sector, this could be the one card showed up. It literally looks like somebody perhaps about to put a ring on somebody's finger here. It says you've already met the romantic partner you seek. So congratulations to those of you who have actually come together with somebody. We're actually hearing that in some cases, you literally both may have deceased loved ones that have been helping to orchestrate this union. And we're hearing it's literally a gift from God. I think seeing that show up here next to the Queen is a very auspicious omen. And they're actually saying something about the month of June possibly being a really good month to tie the knot. I'm hearing that might also be where the 6 is coming from here. We're going to go ahead and flip the last card. This is your personal, your advice from Archangel Michael. It says lean on God and the angels for support. And it's interesting because that's actually one of the messages that literally popped out that they had me write down before. It said, if you can read my scribble scrabble, lean on God and the angels for support by life purpose. These were just messages that channeled out. Sometimes they speak to me exactly like what the cards I'm used to reading say. And that card actually did show up here as your practical advice and a tip and a prayer from Archangel Michael. So you're saying that you literally may have called these things in. We're seeing that hand coming from heaven. We're seeing a queen here radiating feminine beauty, a call to trust and rely upon and nourish that third eye chakra, and believing and trusting in what it is that's being brought forward, because they're saying there's some divine factors that are at play here, and that in some cases that the movement is actually an ascension in your own energy to the next thing. So it's sounding really great, Cancer. I'm hearing some of you all have some beautiful love going on, and if not, hold on to your faith. They're really saying that if you're looking for new love, you might actually know somebody, and that might be exactly why I was getting those messages about people needing to express their love, even if there were some differences. And in some cases, they're saying it's really just about the spiritual connection there, and it being a very spiritual partnership that's grounded in nature. So I'm going to wish you congratulations if that's for you. Hope you have a beautiful start to your month. Please hit me up. If I can do your personal private reading, I would love to do that. artoflove.me, click services up at the top, or you can get a down and dirty personal reading like my down and dirty dailies for only $77 right now. So you can book me at tarotbytribe.com/book me for that. Take care, and we'll see you again next month. We're back for another one. Actually, I'll probably be back in a couple of weeks. I'm in the middle of a business boot camp right now. My schedule's been very hectic between that, keeping up with the channel, and my personal readings and consults. So I'm doing my best, but I'll definitely try to be back here in a couple of weeks. If not, you'll definitely see me at the beginning of next month. All right, bye now, Cancer.